Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and all between the binary. This is Get Informed with Wajeeh. I'm Wajeeh Lion. Thank you so much for tuning in from everywhere, anywhere. I'm your man answering your questions about the Middle East before you even have to ask. If I can get to it before you get to ask. But if you want to ask, you can also ask. I have posted this live stream on my group chat. If you want to ask a question and make sure that I do not miss it, make sure that you go to my group chat on my channel, or if you want to call it my channel's chat. Over there, you can ask your questions. I'm still working on that article I told you guys about yesterday. The um basically something about the alliance chart of the Middle East. Yesterday I was showing you guys how complicated Middle Eastern relations are since one of you guys asked. And since then I made it my work to make sure to publish that for you guys. Thank you. It's called the Diplomat Hat. Someone said that he likes my hat. Thank you. Welcome from Colorado. Boulder, Colorado is an amazing place in the United States. Have you seen Trump tweet with Iran as a USA map? No, I have not. Hi, thanks for everything you do, especially I appreciate you. What do you what do you it will take for bringing Trump down? What? What do you think it will take to bring Trump down? I'll take you guys, your citizens, demanding his if every person in the moderate, liberal, or Republican, far right or far left, recognizes that this Trump house does not want the best interests of the American people. That's why I keep telling you guys, if you want your message to succeed, if you want America to succeed, your ideology or yeah, your ideology war needs to end. Everyone needs to stop fighting whether right and left. Even though I'm a liberal person with a lot of liberal ideas, I know for sure that the complication that I'm seeing in this country will only be united by one thing. And it will be united when Americans, right, stop fighting the culture war and start fighting the 1% and start fighting the corrupt politics and start fighting the corrupt politicians. What we should be demanding, right, is that Trump gets right when we impeach Trump, he actually gets full impeachment. When we demand that the House expands again based on people's representation, people based on uh people, yeah, based on the number of people that live in a state. The House is supposed to expand, but it stopped expanding because The rich is so afraid of the middle class being represented with its all of its diversity. That's why everyone that you talk to, if you ask them, "Are you a Republican or Democrat?" They say, I'm an independent." Why are you independent? I don't see what represents me in the politics. If you want to succeed, you have to learn from missionaries. If you want to succeed, you need to go to classes where they teach missionaries how to preach their faith. Why are you telling us to go and study from missionaries? I don't want to be a missionary. I'm not telling you to be a religious missionary. I'm telling you to learn from their techniques. I was a missionary for Islamic. I was a da'iyah, which is the Islamic version of missionary. Your first thing as a missionary, when you preach the word, when you preach the word, or when you are sitting down and having a conversation with someone that is not following your faith, you always talk to them with a smile, a genuine smile. You always talk to them with respect, even if they're cursing your God right in front of you, even if they're disrespecting your faith right in front of you. And that is your faith, not your political ideology, not your economic agenda, nothing else. This is someone that believes in their God, knows that you disrespect them, knows that you have no, knows that or believes that you're going to hell, right? But someone that wants you to join my faith, I know you will not listen to me if I tell you you're going to hell. I know you won't listen to me if I come to you and straight tell you, you're stupid. You're following this type of belief. You're stupid. You don't have a God. If I tell you that, you don't listen to what I have to say. Now, when we know that the problem is not the far right and it's not the far left and it's not the political ideology, we know for sure by numbers, and we talked about this extensively, that the reason we have political inequality is because we have economic inequality, because there is economic injustice in this country. And we know that the 1% has been busting their ass for a very long time, making sure that we fight each other over ideology, then fighting them for our share of the money. They can have more of the money. So if you want to fight injustice and if you want to get the people on the right and on the left to work with each other, then you work with people you hate. You work with people that you disagree with. You work with people on the other side of the aisle. You get out of your comfort zone. You meet with the other team and you find out one thing that you have in common and you leave the rest of the 99% and you focus on what you can fight with so you can reunite this country to where we used to be. It can happen. It's doable. I'm just giving you the equation. I'm just giving you the tools. I'm telling you how it should be done. Because our cancel culture has proven only to isolate people and create bubbles, more bubbles that have been disrupting our work when it comes to voter education, when it comes to voter turnout, when it comes to um, people voting for the right decision. Someone says tough to ignore child rape. Yes, that's why you go and vote for people that are against it. I'm not saying that like you stand up with corruption. All I'm saying is that the people that are against rape, they're both on the other both sides. By the way, conspiracy theorists, right, that went out and supported Trump. They believed in supporting Trump because they thought that he would go out and prosecute human trafficking. They believe they are already in a conspiracy theory that they hate human traffickers dealing with children. So they're already on that side. They are already thinking that they are against pedophilia. They're already thinking that they hate rapists. So you do have that in common. You need to find that commonality, work with the other side. Even if they're a conspiracy theorist, take that minute, take that minute, find the commonality. People on the right and on the left are trying to find justice. They are just blinded by the hate. They're blinded by the message. They're blinded by the goal. They're blinded by what they want to achieve. And they're blinded by the 1%. It is hard work. I never said it was easy. But uniting this country takes a lot more than just blaming the other side. Yeah, someone says too much outside noise. Yes, there's too much outside noise, and that's on purpose. Look at the people that represent you in Congress and look at how many of them are sponsored by corporations. You'll find out all of a sudden that people that are representing you, they're representing corporations, whether they're Democrat or Republican, meaning the people who are representing us don't have our best interests. Republicans or Democrat, they have the 1% interest. If your representative is sponsored by corporations, then maybe you should be looking for someone else. And maybe that's the message we should be sharing with each other, regardless of party line. Because people who are sponsored by corporations and have taken big money, like what I said, they're on both sides of the party. That is something you have in common. That means that when I'm just mentioning all the things that you all have in common with each other that you can fight against. Someone mentioned APAC. There's a lot of Americans against APAC, whether you're right or left. There's a lot of Americans against the war, whether you're right or left. That's why, like, finding that middle ground is what will get you the moderate vote to vote for you. That's what you need in the general election. That's what you need in the presidential election to win. We just ignore all of that. We continue to ignore the working class. You want to have the highest turnout voters? Make sure that you're a populist. You can be a liberal populist or a democratic or conservative populist. But what I'm trying to say is listen to the people, support the people, show that you are not disconnected from them. Prove that you're not disconnected from them. If you truly just person, right? If our presidents and leaders are truly just people and have not caused any corruption, they wouldn't be walking everywhere with security because they wouldn't be fearing for their life from everyone they have taken their rights away from. Look at European leaders biking to their workplace. Anyone that has corruption, they get faced by public. That is the environment that you need. When your political leadership and political violence is so high in your country, that should make you stop and question. Yes, we're all against political violence 100%, and I'm against gun violence. I'm just analyzing what's on the ground. What's the ground telling me is a lot of people think there's a lot of injustice and they're taking matters with their own hand. And that's why a lot of politicians feel like they need security because many of them out there have been corrupt. Not pointing any fingers, I'm just pointing out the facts and the general broad lines. If we had an amazing community, if we had people who fought for the people will fight for their security. Unfortunately, that's not the situation. Fortunately, we live in a corrupted America. We do. And if you don't want to admit that, that corruption will continue to go on. That corruption will continue to go on. So, what do when you talk to the other side? Become a missionary. Smile. Open your heart. Try to understand. Put yourself in their shoes. Find what's common between you. I'm not telling you to change your principle. Missionary does not change the principle. Missionary shows the power of empathy. A missionary shows the power of empowering someone other to communicate with you and have a dialogue. That's the only way you'll get your message across, and that's the only way you'll start working with each other. And once you start doing that, you know what the other person will start. I will tell you this because I did it so many times, and this is what the other side will tell me. I wish everyone else is like you. I wish everyone else took the time to hear me out, even though that you disagreed with me. I wish people who represent us in politics are willing to listen to the other side like you just did. As soon as you do that, as soon as you show willingness to listen without hate, without judgment, without uh, attacking back, with a smile, all of a sudden they become receptive to what you have to tell them. Thank you for listening. Let's look at the questions. United States of the Middle East. MashaAllah, Trump wants to Iran to become American, huh? How do you assess the Sweden choice of French FDI? I'm not familiar with what's going on between Sweden and France and the UK. Yeah, all the questions about NATO. That uh, I'm not that of an expert regarding NATO. That would be more. These questions would be more good for Jacob. The all of the questions you ask, cash flow, collective. Those are perfect questions for Jacob. Um, I'm not gonna make an answer up for you because that would be I wouldn't know what to tell you. Someone is asking about Trump override the Hexeth and removing troops from Poland. Now reversed uh, troops in Germany being pulled out unnecessary. Oh, out of the mess. Sorry. Betrayed Trump betrayed Hexeth from stealing the wrong war. I don't think so. I think the genuinely the United States is in need of all of these countries and is in need to stay in Europe. But what we have to understand, as we mentioned, His Excellency and Majesty, our great President Donald Trump, he is going through some memory difficulties. And these memory difficulties uh, make it hard. It does make it hard. That's one thing. The other thing is that we also need to know that NATO originally was created to limit Russian expansion into Europe. We have a president in the Middle East, a president in the White House, who now we believe is compromised intelligence wise and security wise by the Russian intelligence. We believe that the Russians have blackmail videos over Trump. We believe that Trump has been doing a lot of things to empower the Russian government. And when you know all of that, what comes to mind is that the United States priorities of Russian expansion to Europe, with the addition to the Iran war, shifts the whole shifts the priorities of the United States financially, militarily, economically, and militarily and politically from Europe to the Middle East. Did I see an explosion inside the Iron Dome in Israel? No, I have not. I may be missing some news stuff. Last question. Oh, there's more questions. Is Trump saying he wishes he did not enter the war and would have rather gone into Cuba? I think he would have done both regardless. Trump invading Cuba seems very, very plausible, especially that, people are talking about Havana syndrome and how the United States now has this weird laser and microwave technology that they might have used in the extraction of Maduro. And Trump wanted to use that on protesters against the White House back in his first Trump administration. And we've had U.S. Diplomats and CIA officers who have reported experiences of Havana syndrome. And the Havana syndrome is basically a side effect of this new weapon that has been and is still kind of, not kind of, is still classified. So when US personnel have been attacked with this type of weapon from China and Russia before, All that has happened is they have evacuated these personnels to back to the United States, and that was it without any explanation. Now the United States used that against the Venezuelan military, apparently when they were trying to take out Maduro. Now we expect that the same weapons might be used in Cuba. And I could definitely see that being used in Cuba with the United States extraditing uh, the former Cuban leader. The United States and Trump would have wanted to invade Cuba regardless of the result in Iran. That was Trump's goal, regardless of Iran going up or down. And I still think that there is a good chance that the Trump administration will invade Cuba and will try to take out and bring them back to the United States. I think there will be fighting, but the Cuban military will be surprised with a weapon that's going to affect them without seeing what's affecting them. It's going to be real crazy. Is the U.S. now poised to attack Ukraine? No, I can't see the United States attacking Ukraine. Someone saying this, a simple message, simple language. Don't risk sounding like you are talking down to someone. For example, it's not left versus right, it's top versus bottom. Show concern for the future of their family, their kids, their grandkids. That's how you show that you care. That's a good point. I agree with you. Do you think that do you think that the US, will attack Iran and Cuba at the same time? That would be very stupid. That's why Trump cannot. Yeah, Trump is trying to finish Iran so he can have all the resources necessary to invade Cuba, and I feel like that's why Cuba has still not been attacked. Um, the U.S. military is already been drawn too thin. U.S. soldiers on the water, especially from the U.S. Navy and the Marines, are exhausted. So you put all that together, you understand that the U.S. military is drawn too thin and needs to finish Iran before invading Cuba. It would be very stupid decision if Trump administration went to Cuba before finishing Iran. I don't know chess very well. I'm just cultured. Gary is a chess player that's very famous. I you know if you just mention a chess move here or there, people think you're a genius. But no, I just saw. I like to read other people explaining this war, and I was learning yesterday. I mean, when you're not seeing me posting, I'm usually studying or analyzing the war or looking at someone else's viewpoints. And it allows me to digest all that information and give it back to you. And yesterday I was listening to an expert who was breaking down the situation, and they used that particular uh, chess move that I mentioned earlier. And that's how I brought it to you guys. Yep. So yeah, anyone tells you that they have learned everything, that's when you should start questioning them, because you should never stop learning. Anyone that stopped learning has chosen you know, the day that they have decided to graveyard their brain. I always try to find a different opinion or someone else that I could learn from. So that I learned that yesterday, and I thought it would be a good point to bring. My family wanted me to be a chess genius, but unfortunately, I'm not that genius in chess. I like to play it for fun. Someone says you're not living if you're not learning. Absolutely. Other questions? Stop learning. Let me just press closer to see if he does have other questions. So many people have been asking me about mugs. Mugs are coming in different shapes and in different not different shapes, in different design. I have I'm planning on selling this on a mug at some point, but I did pay a designer previously to make a design for the shirt. So I'm working back again with a designer to make sure that the design that was on the shirt would make the same one, but with different colors that would make it work with the white mug. So you guys can buy the same design that was on that shirt on the mug. So we're still working on that. I apologize if you wanted to get that mug now. Just give me a few weeks or a week or so, and we'll make sure that that mug is out there. You have 17 days left for the current merch dropout. So if you like lions, if you like my fez hat, and if you like my podcasts, go out there and buy yourself a t-shirt or a hoodie. I made sure that prices are very reasonable, and there is options between uh, you know a good, and they're all premium products. But I make sure that there's different levels, whether you're buying for an athletic wear or you're looking for a premium shirt, or if you're looking for something for heavy duty for your work. All of that is V-neck is definitely coming up. V-neck is coming up. Also, if you're looking for all natural, we do have all cotton available on the link. So if that's something that you take serious, I have made that available for you as well. Get your shirt before it's over. And it will be available for 17 days. So like as the next month come in and you're like waiting to get paid, you should be able to get one by then, hopefully. In the meantime, if you are here and you have not subscribed and you have enjoyed this type of content, take a minute, click on my name, subscribe. You don't need to be a paid subscriber. You at least get the latest information. You get to have this Q&A every day. And if you want to support me, it goes a very long way. If you want to become a paid subscriber, it helps me pays the bill. Do this every day so you don't have to do it every day. Saving up to buy myself a bed to help with the shoulder recovery. And, everything is expensive now. So help me get to where I need to be. That would be awesome. If you cannot afford becoming a premium member or a paid subscriber, I just posted yesterday a message in the chat asking who needs a premium membership. Just comment there. I will reach out to you sometime today or tomorrow, and I will collect your emails and I will add it to the system. And you'll get a free premium membership, or you'll become a free paid subscriber essentially. And that will give you access to everything that you basically don't have access to as a free subscriber. So my paywall is only there for people that need to or want to help me out financially, because it it helps us do this full time. But I'm not trying to make my information limited to your economic situation, especially that this is a currently fucked up economic time. And I want to stand with the community that is supporting. So I appreciate you supporting me. I appreciate you showing up here every day. If you cannot become a paid subscriber, I'm more than happy to give you a paid subscription on the house. There are people also in the group chat who are wanting to gift a premium membership. And right under the who wants a free premium membership on the house, I made another message where some people are commenting that they're wanting to buy others a premium membership. So if you are too shy to reach out to me and want to reach out to someone else who is part of this community, our community is very supportive. We created an amazing community that is out here just trying to get informed, just trying to learn from each other, very respectful, very supportive of each other. We usually ask how everyone is doing and try to build on that community that care about one another rather than a community that just viewing and then leaving. We care about you guys, and we want to make sure that everyone is doing okay. And let's keep this community growing. We're not making this community for profit. We're making this community for change. This is a revolution. This is work that's being done so people can be better informed. And when people are better informed, few things happen. Their phobias start going away because phobias come from fear of the unknown. A lot of people have a lot of unknowns about Muslims and Islam and about the Middle East. And therefore they have Middle Eastern phobia and Muslim phobia and all of that builds up. And instead of demanding the right decisions from your uh, elected representative, or instead of choosing the correct elected representative, a lot of people end up choosing the wrong one because they're not that informed. I try to make it easy. I try to make it digestible, and I try to take the shame out of the whole equation. So you don't feel bad about asking me any questions about the Middle East. There's no wrong question here. All questions are welcome. I'm genuinely here trying to make a difference where people are learning without having any fear of asking these questions. I feel like anytime I'm talking to Americans, there's this great shame of, I don't know this question, but I want to ask you. And I genuinely want to be your to go to person about that. I'm creating this channel. So if you have a question about the Middle East, come to me. Let me be, you know, let me be your Wajeeh. Wajeeh in Arabic means wise guy, or it means the person with the knowledge, or it means the face of the people, and it comes after a title that was given to uh, someone that represent the community. So Look at me as someone who is trying to just educate you. Look at me as someone that's trying to support you. So don't feel ashamed. Don't feel uh, shy. Reach out. We are a very supportive community. Go back to see if there's any more questions. No more questions. Also, if you're asking questions and want to find the best way to ask a question, go to my channel, group chat, and click on the last post or the last thread I have on there. It has the link to the live stream. And if you click on reply and put your question, I will certainly see it because this will be definitely right in front of me. Many times I miss the questions that you post on the live stream comment because there's sometimes a lot of people commenting, but um, I usually do my best to scroll back up to see who's commenting on what. But it seems like there hasn't been much questions as much as comments, and I'm seeing a lot of support comments. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. Again, I'm still working on that article about creating some sort of explanation or I'm trying I haven't made a chart drawing the connection one to another yet, which I think will be the biggest headache for me. And I'm debating whether I should draw one or not, or if I should feed it into an AI and have the AI help me draw it out for you guys. But I basically have most of it written down. It's just about drawing that picture and drawing pictures and making those things can be a headache, especially if you want to make it accurate with all the lines. So you have a visual with the writing. So troop formation is too much. Chart with troop chart with troop formation. What? You think I have military intelligence in here? I don't have military intelligence. I'm just doing my best making a relationship chart. Who's friends with who's frenemies with who, and who's enemies with who. And I think, making a, especially after, and there's a whole bunch of people that have done that before me, but no one has done that since the February war, the US Israeli war on Iran. So since no one has done it since then, I think it's important to, make those relationships updated. Someone says, "But you're the wise guy." Yeah, wise guy. When I have the information, I give you the information. If I don't have information, wise people tell you that they don't have the information. I'll make sure that it's easy to understand, though, even if there is no, visual graph right away. I'll make sure that it's presented in a way where it's easier for you to understand. There might be a question. Is there a way for us to go back to see live chat comments? I don't think so. So the group chat is not meant for chatting during the live stream. It's more meant like I have a question and I really don't want you to miss it. So I go to the group chat and you put it in there. It's way better for you to comment and leave comments and the live stream. And that's mostly like I feel like for people who are responding to each other or responding to me or reacting to what I'm having to say. A lot of times that's what the live chat is being used for. So it would be unwise, like it would be harder for your question to be spotted during a live chat. But a lot of people like to answer each other's questions in the live chat. The group chat is where you go and place a question, and I will always make sure that that question is answered. Yeah. Someone says, thank you for educating us and be well. Thank you for being here. Your support means a lot. And this is a difficult time, and and finding the right information is now like very obscured and very hard. I'm gonna give you guys extra time to write down your comments or questions. While you're here, destroy that heart button at the bottom right. Do I get a complete copy of the chat after the podcast is over? No. But I do get to see the full comment. And sometimes your comments are very, very long. And that's when I ignore them because it becomes very hard to read with a very fast message. All right. I'm not seeing any more questions. It is Memorial Day weekend. So enjoy your weekend. Celebrate with your friends and family. And make sure to stay safe. Make sure to stay safe. And soon, Pride Month is coming, everyone. Maybe I should have Pride colors behind me. But Happy Pride is coming over. If you are straight and you're worried that you would get infected, maybe you should start wearing masks so you don't get infected. And listen to Alex Jones. Do not drink the water from the river. It turns the frogs gay. So make sure to be careful. Huh? Relax. Relax. Okay. Wear your mask. Exercise safety so you don't get infected. Anyways, it's good. It's good seeing. It's good seeing everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I like to say, مع السلامة, bye bye. وبالإنجليزي goodbye. Hold on. What is the end goal here for the USA? The end goal for the USA is to make money for Trump and his family. No, it doesn't make sense because Trump doesn't have a backbone anymore, and the White House and the Congress doesn't have a backbone. Regardless, Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you later.